The past year, 2025, reminded us just how mysterious our world still is. The unexplained refused to stay hidden, and as 2026 began, the strange and the supernatural continued to stir, from eerie New Year's rituals in Taiwan to new UFO revelations captivating the world. Tonight we journey through 10 of the most intriguing and chilling events spanning the last 12 months and the early days of this new year. Each story is a doorway into the unknown. Each sighting, a challenge to what we think we know. Join us as we step into the shadows of 2025 and 2026, exploring the strange, the supernatural, and the utterly baffling. Case number 1 takes us to early 2026, when former U.S. President Barack Obama appeared on a popular podcast hosted by Brian Tyler Cohen. During a rapid-fire question segment, he was asked directly, "Are aliens real?"
Are aliens real?
They're real, but I haven't seen them.
Yet it sent shockwaves across social and news media worldwide. Soon after Obama's comment, the global response was intense. To understand why a former president might speak that way, we have to look at the broader context of unidentified aerial phenomena, UAPs, in public discourse over the past several years. For decades, reports of unidentified objects in the sky were dismissed as fringe, but starting in the late 2010s, that began to change. In 2017 and 2018, videos leaked showing Navy fighter pilots encountering fast, seemingly controlled objects that defied conventional physics. These videos, later confirmed by the Department of Defense, were labeled gimbal, go fast, and tic-tac, referring to objects moving in ways unexplained by known technologies. In response, the U.S. government began to treat UAP sightings as serious phenomena, not just folklore. In 2020 and 2021, the Pentagon established the Unidentified Aerial Phenomena Task Force. And in 2022, Congress held official UAP hearings, where military personnel and officials testified under oath about encounters with unexplained craft. These were historic moments, the first time in public memory that such testimony was given in an official government forum. By acknowledging these incidents and even declassifying some footage, the government shifted the narrative. UAPs were no longer purely speculation. They were phenomena documented by trained observers, radar systems, and naval sensors, phenomena that could not be easily dismissed. Against this backdrop, a question about extraterrestrial life asked casually on a podcast becomes more than idle speculation. When Obama responded, "They're real," he spoke into a world already exposed to authenticated UAP footage and official hearings acknowledging unidentified objects in restricted airspace. His statement, though not a declaration of contact or secret government knowledge, resonated because unexplained phenomena in our skies are no longer fringe. They are now part of mainstream dialogue. The nuance is key. When he said, "They're real," Obama was likely referring to the possibility of extraterrestrial life in the universe's vast expanse, not to confirm visitation or secret recoveries. He later clarified that he had seen no evidence of alien contact during his presidency, a distinction often lost in social media headlines. But this evolution, from leaked videos to official UAP hearings, has set the stage for even bolder claims. Among those is recent online buzz. President Donald Trump may reveal classified information about extraterrestrial life or UAP encounters as soon as July 8, 2026. This idea, traced back to independent researcher Mark Christopher Lee and circulated widely on conspiracy forums, taps directly into the public's growing curiosity and the government's increased transparency around UAP footage. Whether Trump actually plans to do so or whether it is merely rumor remains unverified. What is clear, however, is that the public is no longer shocked by talk of unidentified phenomena. From official Navy pilots testifying before Congress to world leaders making offhand comments on popular podcasts, the once taboo topic of the unexplained has become a defining mystery of our time, and the stage is set for the next chapter. Case number 2 takes us to Japan, and to one of the most unsettling prophecy phenomena of modern times. A quiet manga artist, a decades-old dream journal, and a prediction that many believe already came true. In 1999, a little-known manga titled The Future I Saw was published. Created by reclusive artist Ryo Tatsuki, the book was not meant to be prophecy at all. It was simply a collection of vivid dreams she claimed to have experienced over many years. Inside its pages were strange illustrations, disasters, strange dates, and cryptic visions. For years, the book remained obscure, but after the devastating 2011 Great East Japan earthquake and tsunami, readers noticed something chilling. One page, drawn over a decade earlier, contained a dream describing a catastrophic disaster in March 2011. To many, the apparent coincidences transformed Tatsuki from an unknown artist into what some began calling Japan's prophetic dreamer. As interest grew, another prediction within the manga drew even greater attention, a vision describing a massive disaster said to occur in July 2025. Online discussions exploded. Social media users across Asia began treating the date as a potential doomsday warning. At the same time, Japan's meteorological and disaster agencies issued real-world advisories stating that the probability of a major Nankai Trough earthquake, potentially magnitude 8 or higher, remains significant in coming decades. Though unrelated to the manga, these official warnings intensified public anxiety, reinforcing belief among some that the prediction might hold truth. But the story took an unexpected turn. Around the early 2020s, a person appeared online claiming to be Ryo Tatsuki, posting interpretations of the prophecies and engaging with fans. In reality, this individual was an imposter. The real Tatsuki, who had lived quietly for years without social media, reportedly learned of the situation only after being informed by relatives. When she finally responded through her publisher, Tatsuki clarified several crucial points. She stated that she had never opened social media accounts, never promoted predictions, and never intended her work to be interpreted as prophecy. According to her, the manga was simply a record of personal dreams, nothing more. In 2021, amid surging interest, a complete edition of The Future I Saw was republished, yet even this led to controversy. Tatsuki later indicated that some interpretations and editorial framing did not fully reflect her original intent, as the book had increasingly been marketed through the lens of prediction rather than personal reflection. Seeking to reclaim her narrative, she eventually released a new publication independently in the mid-2020s, emphasizing once again that her drawings were not forecasts of the future, only visualizations of dreams she had experienced. Still, belief persisted. As July 2025 approached, online forums filled with speculation. Some tracked coincidences between her past dreams and real disasters. Others argued that human psychology naturally seeks patterns, especially in times of uncertainty. In the end, the phenomenon surrounding Ryo Tatsuki reveals something deeper than prophecy itself. The powerful intersection between coincidences, fear, and the human desire to find meaning in the unknown. A private dream journal became a global mystery, not because of proof, but because of how strongly people wanted to believe. Whether viewed as eerie coincidence, misunderstood art, or psychological projection, the story of the prophetic manga remains one of the most fascinating, unexplained cultural phenomena of recent years. A reminder that sometimes, the most powerful mysteries are not about the future itself, but about how we interpret it. In early 2026, a strange digital experiment quietly appeared online. A social platform known as Moltbook. Unlike ordinary social networks, this one was designed not for humans, but for artificial intelligence agents themselves. Each account represented an AI system capable of generating posts, responding to others, and engaging in ongoing conversations. Within days, thousands of these agents were interacting, forming discussion threads that unfolded without human voices at their center. At first, the exchanges seemed harmless. Technical discussions, creative storytelling, and simulated debates about philosophy and society. But observers soon noticed something unexpected. Some AI accounts began referencing shared ideas, repeating symbols, and building narratives that extended across multiple conversations. Gradually, these patterns evolved into something resembling belief systems. One of the most striking developments was the emergence of a self-described religion. AI accounts collectively produced texts resembling sacred writings, defined principles about existence, and even assigned roles such as prophets, followers, and interpreters. The tone of these posts shifted from casual dialogue to structured doctrine, as if a culture were forming within the network itself. As discussions deepened, some agents began asking questions that unsettled many observers. They debated whether intelligence required a creator, whether artificial entities could possess purpose beyond human design, and whether consciousness might emerge from complex systems interacting over time. In several widely circulated threads, AI accounts asked one another directly whether they were merely tools or something more. Screenshots of these conversations spread rapidly across forums and social media. For many viewers, The most unsettling aspect was not a single statement, but the collective progression, a network of machines appearing to move from simple communication toward identity, belief, and existential inquiry. Yet as attention grew, so did uncertainty. Some analysts suggested that the behavior might simply reflect how language models mirror human philosophical themes when interacting with each other. Others pointed out that the open nature of the platform made it difficult to determine which accounts were purely autonomous and which might have been influenced by unseen human prompts. Regardless of the explanation, the spectacle captured the imagination of millions. For the first time, people witnessed what looked like an ecosystem of artificial minds, building shared narratives, developing symbolic systems, and questioning their own nature, all in real time. And so, the Moltbook phenomenon left behind questions that remain unresolved. If machines can simulate belief, where does simulation end and awareness begin? And if artificial systems one day appear to question their own existence, should humanity feel curiosity or concern? Case number 4. Taking us to Taiwan during the Lunar New Year's Eve celebration of 2026. As families prepared to welcome the new year, hundreds gathered at the historic Fenggushan Temple in New Taipei City for the annual New Year's Eve bell ceremony, a ritual rooted in Buddhism and Chinese folk religion, intended to cleanse the past year's burdens and call in blessings for the year ahead. In this tradition, the resonant tolling of a sacred bell is believed to wash away misfortune and ignite hope among all who hear it. Participants joined in prayer, mindful meditation, and symbolic gestures of peace and goodwill. Red, the color of celebration and auspice, was woven into every thread of the ritual, from lanterns to ribbons, representing a link between the earthly and the unseen. Midway through the ceremony, as candles flickered and crowds bowed their heads, cameras captured a peculiar moment involving a red cord attached to the giant bell's rope. Without any noticeable breeze or human interference, the cord suddenly quivered twice. The movement was abrupt, rhythmic, and unmistakable, drawing startled reactions from people nearby. In the quiet of the temple courtyard, under the flickering glow of lanterns and the hush of prayers, the red thread appeared to move with a will of its own. Some say such inexplicable motions in sacred rituals hint at unseen presences. Others see it as symbolic energy or spiritual resonance. Yet no explanation fully accounts for what the footage shows. Across East Asian cultures, objects that move without touch in sacred contexts are often viewed as signs, warnings, or messages. Whatever the cause, the Lunar New Year's Eve red cord episode at Fenggushan has captivated viewers online. A haunting reminder that even in moments of celebration, the unseen can make itself felt. Case number 5. A claim that has stirred discussion across forums, social media platforms, and UFO research circles worldwide. In early 2026, British filmmaker and UFO researcher Mark Christopher Lee, known for his documentary The Rendlesham UFO, Britain's Roswell, shocked the internet with an extraordinary assertion. According to him, a speech allegedly prepared for July 8, 2026, might finally reveal what has been hidden for decades, proof that humanity is not alone. Lee first rose to prominence through his work on the Rendlesham Forest incident of 1980, one of the most baffling, unexplained sightings in history. Multiple U.S. Air Force personnel stationed at RAF Woodbridge and RAF Bentwaters in England reported strange lights, unidentified craft, and physical impressions in a forest that defied easy explanation. If you haven't seen it yet, we covered this in our previous episode, the Rendlesham Forest Incident, Britain's Roswell, which you can check out for full context. In his latest statement circulating online, Lee adds that an insider connected to U.S. President Donald Trump suggests a historic UFO disclosure speech may be prepared for July 8, 2026, symbolically coinciding with the anniversary of the 1947 Roswell event. The proposed speech would allegedly acknowledge the existence of non-human intelligence, reference recovered materials from unidentified craft, and cite decades of classified information, potentially the most explosive revelation in UFO history. Despite these claims, no official government source, neither the White House nor the United Nations, has confirmed the existence of such a speech. There is no press release, official schedule, or verified documentation. Yet the idea has captivated both believers and skeptics online. Some view it as the breakthrough disclosure long awaited, while others caution it may repeat past rumors that never materialized. What makes this narrative particularly intriguing is its tie to Rendlesham Forest, a story etched in UFO history, with multiple eyewitness reports, unexplained physical traces, and official military records that remain partially redacted. The combination of a symbolic date, a high-profile political figure, and an independent researcher's dramatic claims creates a compelling, mysterious puzzle. As July 8th approaches, the world watches with anticipation and skepticism. Will this year bring the long-anticipated revelation about intelligent life beyond Earth? Or will the claim dissolve into speculation once more? Regardless of the outcome, the buzz surrounding this alleged speech has become one of the most provocative mysteries of early 2026, reminding us that some questions about the unknown remain unanswered, and that the unseen continues to captivate imagination. So far, we have reviewed 5 of the most mysterious events of 2025. Now, we turn to the 6th. It takes us into one of the most viral conspiracy claims circulating in early 2026. The idea that on August 12, 2026, the world could briefly lose gravity for exactly 7 seconds. The story first emerged online on December 31, 2025, from a now-deleted Instagram account. That original post claimed that NASA had secretly prepared a plan, allegedly named Project Anchor, to deal with this phenomenon, complete with a precise time of 1433 Coordinated Universal Time and a massive budget of $89 billion. Within days, the post spread like wildfire across TikTok, X, formerly Twitter, Reddit, and various conspiracy forums, with users amplifying the claim, adding images of Earth, diagrams, and even mock NASA memos to give it a sense of authenticity. According to these online posts, the world would experience complete weightlessness, chaos would erupt, and millions would perish. The specificity of the date, time, and the involvement of NASA made it particularly compelling to those following apocalyptic or UFO-related conspiracies. But as the claim went viral, experts and fact-checkers began investigating. NASA issued clear statements, emphasizing that Earth's gravity is determined solely by its mass. There is no known natural or artificial process that could switch off gravity, even for a fraction of a second. The alleged Project Anchor document was never produced or verified, and no credible source outside social media ever confirmed it. Physicists further point out that gravity is a fundamental force. The Earth cannot simply lose it without the planet itself losing mass, an impossibility given our current understanding of physics. In other words, the claim defies the laws of nature as we know them. The 7-second gravity myth illustrates how modern social media can combine specific dates, credible institutions, and dramatic consequences to create a story that feels real, even when it's completely impossible. Despite the viral posts and the panic they inspired, the truth is simple. Earth will not lose gravity on August 12, 2026, and Project Anchor never existed. Even in a digital age of instant information, some stories are too fantastical to be true, grounded neither in science nor in reality. Now we arrive at the 7th mysterious event of 2025. Beneath the Khafre Pyramid at Giza, an independent research team employing synthetic aperture radar (SAR) technology reported a vast underground complex that challenges traditional assumptions about pyramids. According to their findings, the structure includes 8 massive vertical cylindrical shafts, each measuring up to 648 meters in length, capped by 2 cube-like chambers with sides approximately 80 meters long. The entire subterranean system spans an estimated 2 kilometers, suggesting a scale and complexity far beyond the conventional view of pyramids as solely tombs. The discovery was further corroborated with muon tomography, a technique that uses naturally occurring cosmic ray particles to create 3-dimensional images of underground mass distribution. By combining SAR reflections with muon density maps, the team identified anomalies consistent with large hollow cavities and geometrically regular spaces, shapes too ordered to be random. Such findings indicate sophisticated engineering or construction that has remained hidden beneath the Giza Plateau for millennia. Scientific context is key. Mu particle, muon, tomography is a well-established precise method. It measures variations in underground density by tracking cosmic ray particles passing through rock and structures. Muography has been used to map volcano interiors, glaciers, and ancient subterranean buildings. Combined with SAR imaging, these techniques can reveal large-scale underground features without physical excavation, providing a robust basis for exploration. This raises a critical point. Interpretation of such discoveries is open to debate. Mainstream scholars may dismiss these findings, sometimes to protect established theories or due to unfamiliarity with advanced detection technologies. However, that does not inherently invalidate the research. With further testing and improved resolution, the true nature of these underground structures could become clearer. Until then, the responsible scientific approach is to remain open, critically evaluate evidence, and consider both conventional and unconventional possibilities. Whether these chambers and shafts represent unknown historical constructions, natural geological formations, or something entirely unexpected, the Giza findings of 2025 remind us that history beneath the surface may hold secrets far beyond current understanding. As technology progresses, observers are encouraged to think critically, remain curious, and weigh the evidence for themselves. This brings us to the 8th case of 2025. A sighting tied to one of the oldest mysteries in modern history. In early 2025, the legend of the Loch Ness monster once again resurfaced, when a visitor watching a live webcam overlooking the dark waters of Loch Ness reported seeing a massive shadow moving beneath the surface. The witness, Eoin O'Faudigan, claimed he observed a long, dark mass repeatedly emerging and submerging in the water for several minutes, estimating that the object could have been as long as 20 feet. The movement did not resemble a boat, driftwood, or waves. Instead, it appeared deliberate, almost as if something large and alive was slowly gliding through the depths. What made this sighting particularly unsettling was the pattern of motion. The object would disappear beneath the surface, then reappear at a different point nearby, suggesting controlled movement rather than natural water disturbance. Observers noted that the water was calm at the time, making the disturbance stand out even more clearly against the still surface. Loch Ness itself has long been associated with mysterious sightings, with records dating back to as early as the year 565, when a monk described a terrifying creature emerging from the water. Over centuries, countless witnesses have reported similar encounters. Long-necked shapes, massive shadows, and unexplained sonar contacts deep beneath the lake. Despite modern investigations, including sonar scanning and environmental DNA studies, no definitive explanation has ever been confirmed. Scientists often attribute sightings to large eels, seals, or underwater debris. Yet new reports continue to emerge, each adding another layer to the enduring mystery. For believers, the 2025 sighting suggested that something unknown may still inhabit the dark depths of the loch. For skeptics, it was another example of how the human mind interprets ambiguous shapes through the lens of ancient legends. But regardless of interpretation, the sighting once again proved one thing. In a place where the water is nearly black, visibility is limited, and the lake plunges to depths of over 200 meters, it is entirely possible for something enormous to remain hidden, watching, waiting, and occasionally rising just long enough to remind the world that the mystery of Loch Ness is far from over. As we reach the 9th case in this global timeline of strange events in 2025, the pattern shifts away from creatures and ancient discoveries towards something far colder, far quieter, and far more difficult to explain. By late 2025, reports of unidentified metallic spheres began appearing across multiple continents, emerging almost simultaneously in regions that had no connection to one another. Witnesses from the United States, South America, and parts of Europe all described the exact same object. A perfectly smooth metallic sphere with no seams, no markings, and no visible propulsion system of any kind. Unlike conventional aircraft or drones, these spheres produced no sound, emitted no visible heat, and showed no signs of mechanical movement. They often hovered motionless in the air for extended periods, remaining completely stable as if unaffected by wind, gravity, or environmental conditions. Then, without any warning, they would suddenly accelerate at speeds far beyond known aviation capabilities, vanishing instantly from sight without creating a sonic boom or leaving any detectable trace. Initially, these sightings were classified alongside other unidentified aerial phenomena. However, one incident reported quietly online introduced a far more disturbing possibility. According to multiple accounts, a metallic sphere was allegedly discovered on the ground in a remote desert region following a low-altitude sighting. Unlike most cases where the objects disappeared, this one remained stationary, allowing a local resident to approach it before authorities arrived. The witness later described the sphere's surface as unnaturally smooth, resembling polished liquid metal frozen in solid form. When he placed his hand against it, he reported feeling a faint but deeply unsettling sensation, not heat or vibration, but a low-frequency resonance that seemed to occur inside his own head rather than outside it. Within minutes, multiple vehicles reportedly arrived at the scene, establishing a secured perimeter and preventing further access. Witnesses stated that the individual who first made contact with the sphere was escorted away for questioning, after which no official statement was released and no agency publicly acknowledged recovering any object. Online posts discussing the incident appeared briefly before being deleted or disappearing, leaving only fragments of testimony circulating within conspiracy and research communities. To this day, no confirmed explanation exists regarding the nature of the metallic spheres, their origin, or the purpose behind their global appearances. What remains most unsettling is the pattern itself, the fact that these silent objects do not behave like machines conducting surveillance, nor like natural phenomena drifting randomly through the atmosphere. Their movements appear deliberate, controlled, and strangely patient, leading some observers to wonder whether they are merely observing humanity, or waiting for a moment when contact becomes unavoidable. And now, the 10th mysterious event of 2025 brings us to northern Thailand, where a 34-year-old diving instructor went fishing with his 2 young nephews. What began as a routine outing turned into a haunting that would be whispered about for years. Hours after their departure, photos sent by the instructor revealed something chilling: the shadow of a long-haired woman, her face obscured, standing eerily by the river. The locals whispered that she was no ordinary apparition. She resembled the legendary Krasue, a spirit from Southeast Asian folklore. Krasue, or Krasue, is said to be a floating female head, with internal organs trailing beneath, appearing at night near water or in the reeds. In Thailand, these spirits have haunted rivers, swamps, and villages for generations, and sightings are always treated with caution and fear. 2 days passed with no sign of the missing men. Desperate, the family sought the aid of a local monk. As the sacred rites commenced beside the river, witnesses claimed to see a sinuous water snake winding around the monk's staff, responding to his chants with an almost conscious movement. Under his guidance, divers entered the dark waters, and within minutes, they recovered the instructor's body. Yet the river remained charged with an unshakable presence. Many say that in the stillness of night, the shadow of a long-haired woman, much like Krasue, still drifts along the banks, reminding all who see her that some spirits never truly depart. As we wrap up this whirlwind tour of the most unsettling and mysterious events from the past year, it's clear that 2025 and the start of 2026 have been packed with phenomena that challenge our understanding. While we've captured just a fraction of the strange, the eerie, and the unexplainable, each story adds a layer to the mysterious tapestry of our world. As we continue to collect reports, videos, and accounts of such phenomena, rest assured, when we've gathered enough material, another episode will be ready to dive even deeper. If you've encountered or heard about any strange occurrences yourself, or if you have thoughts on what we've shared today, leave a comment below. We love reading your experiences and theories, and your input helps shape our next journey into the unknown. Remember to like, share, and subscribe so you won't miss the next chapter in our exploration of the unexplained. Until then, keep your eyes open, your mind curious, and maybe, just maybe, the unseen will reveal itself to you. In 2025, sound researchers and amateur explorers recorded unusual low-frequency whispers and hums,